Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me on my first disc golf YouTube video. Today we played the Yeet Street Discs Friday Flex Start number 4 at Springwood Park in Whitsett, North Carolina. Today I played MA3. My current rating is 829. Wanted to show how my round went. So we started off on hole number 9 that you'll see here on video. This is a par 3, 203-foot hole, fairly straight, a little bit of hyzer at the very end. The basket is directly behind the darkest green tree there, right off the pad. So I'm throwing my Prodigy PA3, which I use quite often. On this shot, I hit pretty straight shot down the middle, little hyzer at the end, left me with a pretty close putt. As you'll see coming up here, I was within probably 10, 12 feet. Fairly easy birdie. And here we are on hole number 10, which is our hole number 2. This is a 219-foot par 3. Once again, I'm using my PA3. Soft little hyzer shot. Put it out to the right, let it just fade right back into the basket, and I was right next to the pin. You can see here just a tap in for birdie again. So 2 holes in, I'm 2 down. Here we are on hole number 11. This is a 456-foot par 4. I kind of get the disc a little nose up. I didn't really put much on it. Kind of faded out early on me. Didn't go very far. I'm kind of up by the fence. Here I'm throwing my F1 on a forehand. Get it around that tree that's down in the middle there. I trust the F1 quite a bit. It's very stable. I call it the baby Firebird, and I put it probably about 30 feet or so, just outside circle 1. Here to save the birdie, and I barely get over the cage there, but it was a perfect putt. So I'm 3 down through 3. Here on hole 12A. 12A is a 294-foot par 3. I'm going to be throwing my F3. On this throw, I almost threw it like I wanted. You'll see as it comes out of my hand, it's just little nose up. It started to flip and then just kind of gave out and dove back up to the fence again. Kind of a replay of hole 11. I have a very high up putt from up to down. Had a pretty good release on it, hit the hill at a bad angle, and then rolled into the woods to the right. Luckily, I had an open shot to the basket here. It wasn't far into the woods. But you'll see, save the par. Here we are on hole 12B. 12B is a 199-foot par 3. It's slightly uphill, very straight hole. The biggest thing is you can't do much of a big hyzer here because of the trees going down the right edge, so you kind of have to throw it directly at the basket, or maybe some kind of forehand on hyzer or a anti-backhand. Throwing my M4 here. Pretty good shot. Came up a little short on it. I didn't put a lot of pop on it. I was kind of just trying to get it down the middle. Leave myself a decent birdie putt. Go. The birdie putt. Here we are on hole 13. 259-foot par 3. It's uphill the whole way. OB on the right. Anything right of that line of trees, there's some housing development there, and if you're in somebody's backyard, you're out of bounds. So I'm trying to throw my F3. I wanted to throw it on a little bit of anhyzer, and as you'll see, I kind of put too much nose up on it, and it just stalled out. Got decent distance on it. It was just left. It never turned for me. Here's what I had left. I just did a little spin putt run at it with my Yeti Pro ABRs and put it right under the basket. Little upshot, nice tap in for par. And here we're going to be throwing hole 14, 274 foot par 3. OB to the right. There's another housing development over there. If you throw it over the fence, then you're OB. Anything left is inbounds. Anything in the tree line is inbounds. You just don't want to be right over the fence. Throwing my F3 again. I trust my F3 quite a bit. And this one was a great shot. I mean, nice turnover, little finish back to the left at the end. Had about a 20-footer for birdie. And got the CTP here. Probably didn't hold throughout the day, but we get the birdie. Now we're on to hole 15. 15 is a par 4, 448 foot hole. OB is parking lot. Anything in the parking lot is OB, or anything right over the fence in the housing area is OB. I'm throwing a feedback here. I've gotten to where I'm really enjoying the feedback. Just a nice little flat shot out. Let it hyzer back right next to the cart path. Gives me a nice little forehand angle in. I'm throwing my Lance Brown A2 here. Great A2 that he gave me a couple years ago. And it's very good approach disc. I call it the kind of very similar to a Zone OS. And here I am on my birdie putt. And when this putt left my hand, I knew immediately that it was left. I gave it way too much height, which let it fade out, early. Hole 16 is a 207 foot par 3, straight as an arrow, low overhanging trees. Anything left of the path is OB. So the path itself is inbounds, but anything left in the street or further left is OB. Here I'm throwing my PA5, which is one of my favorite discs in my bag. I love this disc. It does exactly what I want it to every time.
Well, you got CTP.
And I put this up here right next to the basket, inside 20 feet. Nice little toss in for birdie. Now we're on to hole 17. 17 is a 222 foot par 3. And this one has OB, same as the last hole, left of the path. And I'm throwing my PA5 again. I'll throw this disc anywhere up to about 250 feet. And I know it's going to have a nice soft flip up, easy little turn every time. It's very trustworthy. Puts me right next to the basket, just a little bit to the right of it. This was probably about a 25 foot putt, 20 to 25 foot for birdie. Cashed another birdie there. And here we're on to hole 18, which is a 303 foot par 3, uphill the entire way. Throwing my F3 here. In my head, I knew what I wanted the disc to do. I just didn't quite get it to turn as much as I needed it to. You'll see here, I throw it right at that tree like I wanted, but I was wanting more turn. So I was wanting it to S-turn around the tree and come back to the middle, but I hit the branches. This is my approach. I'm throwing my PA3 here. Probably about 180 foot approach shot, which I put right next to the basket, then 10 feet. Here I'm cleaning up the our save here. Next hole is going to be hole 1. This is 210 foot par 3. Throw my PA5 again. The little flip up backhand. I hit it just right. I started it a little more right than I wanted. but it was the exact throw that I wanted there. This one hurt. You'll see what happens on this putt. I thought I had this putt the whole way, and I clanged it. One of those little nubs caught the back of the disc as it was going in and just threw it straight back out of the basket. And so I clean up my par. All right, hole 2. This is a signature hole for Springwood Park. Extremely wooded, as you can see. Very narrow, lots of trees. I'm throwing my PA5, and this one, I don't know what happens here, but you'll see I just kind of give up on the throw about halfway through it. Right there, I just stopped my throw. I did not finish the follow through. And I hit a tree left on the left, kicked myself right, but I still got a good distance on it. It pushed me down about halfway down the fairway, a little bit to the right. I have a little cleanup putt here, probably about 100 footer, 80 to 100 feet. Just a little toss up. Let it slide underneath the basket. Par cleanup. And now we're moving on to hole 3. Hole 3 is a 258-foot par 3. It's a left to right moving hole. Anything in the short grass that you can see on the right is going to be a hazard today. It's not playing OB, it's playing as a hazard. I am throwing my PA5. I was trying to reach it. I knew it was probably pushing, it's at 258, but it was slightly downhill. And I know I can usually get about 250 on it if I crank it, but I didn't throw it quite as hard or as fast as I could have, and it comes up just a little short, but it's a great throw, and either way, leaves me with probably about a 35, 40-foot putt. Give it a half bid, kind of just toss it up under the basket, take my par here. Weird footing there, just had to kind of sneak my toe behind it. Now we're on to hole 4, the 336-foot par 3. Left to right again. Short grass is a hazard again. Here I'm going to throw my D2 on a forehand. Came out of my hand very well. It was a little scary there. I did land in the short grass, but skipped into inbounds. I was about a foot and a half inbounds here. Another little half bid. Kind of ran it, kind of gave up on it, so just left it under the basket. Easy tap in for par. Now we're moving on to hole 5, a 246-foot par 3. Fairly straight hole, just a little, there's a tree in the middle, as you can see. You can either hyzer around it and hyzer around it. Taking an M4. The wind had picked up here. You can see the wind blowing. You can see my shirt blowing there, and I wanted to throw it low, keep it under the wind, and I threw it a little too low. It was a great throw out of the hand, good snap on it. It just was too low. Never had a chance to get to the basket. I slid up to about 35 feet. I'll give it a little bit here. It was close. Easy tap in par again. And now we're going to move on to hole 6, 261-foot par 3. I'm throwing my PA5. Again, I'm trying to turn it from the left to right around underneath this tree, and I hit it just like I wanted, and the disc just kind of stayed a little bit higher, but it flew exactly like I wanted it to fly. It's just a little high. You'll see it's going to catch this branch and just fall straight down. About 3 feet lower, I think I'd have been parked. But as you can see here, coming up on this putt, it didn't matter. We get buckets anyway. That putt felt great out of the hand. Now we're moving on to hole 7. 7 is a 459-foot par 4. I'm throwing my F3 again. And I throw it just like I wanted, just a little too flat. I wanted a little more hyzer on it, and it kind of burned over a bit. Didn't get a full S turn out of it. So I'm pinched on the right. I'm throwing my F5 from a standstill because I have a thorn bush right behind me. You can't really see it here in the video, but it's right by my back leg there. And if I tried any kind of run up, I'd be running right through this big thorn bramble bush. So I had to resort to a standstill. So I went to an F5, and it flew very well. I was very happy with it. I don't throw the F5 much, but I was very happy with how that turned out. Left me with just outside circle 1 putt. For the bird, I give it a good bid. Yep, and I've draw metal again. I hit basket a few times today. And clean up the par. And we're going to move on to hole 8. Hole 8's a 417-foot par 4. This is our last hole. And I'm throwing my F3 again. We have a headwind coming at me. I didn't account for that, and you're going to see what happens. Straight up into the tree. The headwind just grabbed that nose and took it straight up. So now I'm going to throw the F5 again on a standstill. Came out a little bit high again. It still did not adjust for that wind, but it's a fine upshot. I've probably got about 130 feet in from here. I'm throwing a PA1, and this was perfect. Out of the hand, I thought I was going to drain it, and I hit the cage again. I thought I was draining it. It was so close. And then it kind of rolled back a little bit. Had about a 12-footer for save the par here. There we go with the par. And I finished 8 under for the day, which was great for MA3. My best round at Springwood ever. I absolutely played out of my shoes today for how I normally play. I believe it was 921 rated. I think the ratings are actually still going on. I think there's groups that are still out there playing right now. But it was a good day, a very good day. I enjoyed it. So far, I'm in first place. I don't think anybody else has signed up in the division outside of the other person that was in it. But it looks like I'm going to take the win today from what I've seen on the live scoring. So it was a great day. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and hope you'll come back for the future rounds that I post.